David, first, let's talk about sort of the issues of the day. On the Clinton side, these correspondence and connection between the foundation as well as the State Department, and then on the Donald Trump side, of course, those remarks yesterday about the Second Amendment. How do you see things?
Yeah, well, now we know why she wanted that little old server tucked away in her closet where no one could see it. I mean, this highlights the ultimate pay-to-play scheme, Maria. You pay big bucks to the Clinton Foundation, and you get big access to the State Department's influence in getting jobs, in getting international contracts with countries such as Lebanon, and who knows what else, because there's 33,000 other emails that were deleted by her lawyers that probably has a lot more going on with this, Maria. Look, Rod Blagojevich just got his sentence modified, but he went to state prison for doing very similar things, influence peddling, trying to sell a Senate seat, and the idea that Hillary Clinton won't be subject to criminal prosecution, the only thing that comes to mind is his name's Blagojevich, her name's Clinton. Other than that, I see no difference. I think she's in big trouble if we get a serious independent prosecutor to look at this, because this is influence peddling at its very worst.
Richard Fowler, how damaging is this?
I don't think it's damaging at all. Don't get me wrong. I think it's problematic, right, that there's no clear connection in these emails to the secretary, number one. And number two, we've litigated this email incident over and over again. I think as the more and more Republicans continue and the Trump campaign continues to litigate this email quote-unquote crisis, what you're going to have is they're going to be taken away from the issue. They should be focused on economics. They should be focused on, you know, Iran. They should be focused on getting Americans back to work, but yet they continue to go back to this email argument thinking there's a big win here, or there's some sort of pot of gold in this rainbow, and there's no gold and there's no rainbow.
Well, it's not really about the emails as much as it's about the foundation. Morgan, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be damaging?
Not this particular batch of emails, to be honest. I think asking someone if you can get a job for them at the State Department, I mean, that's negligible. What the real smoking, gun here is going to be the speeches that were paid for by Bill Clinton, the incidents with Russia. Were there favors that were granted at the State Department? Did licenses get through? I think you really have to follow the money, and that's where I think the linchpin will be in this whole effort.
Kirsten, what do you think?
I'm not sure if it's ever going to come out. I mean, I think that Republicans' mistake has been to continue going after these things, and now I'm someone who's conservative, and I think that Hillary Clinton has shown very, very poor judgment. But I don't think that this is the way to go, because popular opinion is that, oh gosh, this is just Republicans going after another email scandal, and the American public can't differentiate between all these different leaked emails. They're not news hawks like all of us and political junkies like we are. So the American people, it looks like a circus.
Let us not forget also that Hillary Clinton's State Department passed a uranium deal after a donation was made to the Clinton Foundation. So that deal happened back in 2009, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, you wonder if there's an investigation and it will yield real facts here. We'll see. I mean, it might happen after the election.
There is a separate investigation still going on with the FBI, and I think that's what wasn't, has not been talked about in Director Comey's press conferences. There still is a separate one.
Right. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Maria, if you can buy off Hillary Clinton, which is this what it amounted to? I mean, for her to say that she has nothing to do with the Clinton Foundation is absolutely laughable. People made big donations to her foundation, the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation, and in exchange they got huge political favors. I mean, that's corruption, plain and simple.
That's the point. That's why, exactly. Now, then there's the Donald Trump story, Richard. The comments on the Second Amendment. Voters are now scrutinizing that. Let's listen to what he said. I want to get your reaction to it.
If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know.
Nobody in that room thought anything other than what you just said. This is a political movement. This is a strong, powerful movement, the Second Amendment. Hillary wants to take your guns away. She wants to leave you unprotected in your home. This is a tremendous political movement. There can be no other interpretation.
Now, Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook responded with a statement, and he says, "This is simple. What Trump is saying is dangerous. A person seeking to be the president of the United States should not suggest violence in any way." Is the media overreacting to this comment, or is that really the way it's seen? I mean, he could have basically been suggesting that the Second Amendment people should come out and vote.
I think what the Donald was suggesting was the former and not the latter, Maria. It's very obvious when he says, well, the Second Amendment can solve that, i.e. meaning that, you know, the fact that we have the right to bear arms can solve the problem with Hillary Clinton's judges. This is problematic for Donald Trump, but this is not a surprise. Let me be very, very, very clear. This is par the course for Donald Trump. Just a couple months ago, he said that you should punch a protester in the face. He kicked out a crying baby from a rally. He's made fun of a disabled journalist. Once again, Donald Trump keeps moving the goalposts on what is disgusting, what is misogynist, and what is downright insane for a presidential candidate.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he meant, that's outrageous. I can't imagine that's what he meant, but what do you think, David?
No, I mean, for gosh sakes, number one, ironically, Second Amendment people, NRA people, are among the most law-abiding people in the nation. So the idea that he would urge them to violence is silly. I mean, there's certainly not like, I don't know, the hundreds of people, thousands of people that just got their sentences commuted by Barack Obama for certain gun crimes. I mean, I would be concerned about those people. Second Amendment people, NRA people, no. I listened to it, and it was pure politics. Right. People in the Second Amendment, NRA are motivating.
What is the panel
They vote in big numbers. They organize in big numbers.
Right.
That's clearly what this was about, no question about it.
Kevin,
absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, the liberal media is making it seem and assuming that he said for the Second Amendment people to come out and strike violence. There was no mention of violence. And for people to assume that then they need to introspect on themselves because it's to get out the vote.
Right, and you know, people can perceive things different ways. And of course, maybe the media, you know, overdid it in their coverage. But the bottom line is whether he meant it as a movement or he meant it as actual violence, it just shows the carelessness with which he speaks. And as commander-in-chief, you have to be aware of that. But his public loves it. His people love that. So he's going to keep doing it.
You know, I keep going back to the Brexit vote in June because I saw the opposition totally overplay every time that they talked about the EU, the UK leaving the EU. And I say that to the people who are going against Donald Trump. If you overplay every single little thing that he says, it's going to end up biting you.
Yeah.
Richard, during the 2000... yeah, go ahead.
I don't think we're overplaying this at all. I think, listen, you could literally take the quote as what he said and call it what it is. You can't put a lipstick on a pig and say it's not a pig. But once again, I think what's more bothersome to me, Maria, is the constant defense of this ridiculous rhetoric from Donald Trump. Even his own supporters have got to say, okay, Donald, clearly you've gone too far. Clearly you've said too much. But over and over again, they find a spin and they find a justification for this. But let's not forget, in the primary, this type of rhetoric worked. But in the general election, where you're talking to all 50 states, it is not working. That's why a recent poll in Georgia has Hillary Clinton up 4 points in Georgia.
Yeah.
Right?
It's incredible how tight the race is in other states, but certainly she has the upper hand in a number of them. Yeah, go ahead, David. Final word here.
Right. I mean, the reality is now we have the issue of the mainstream media completely relinquishing.
Don't blame this on the mainstream media. Blame this on Donald Trump.
Hold on, Richard. Whoa. It's relinquished its journalistic integrity and credibility in order to wage full war.
Blame it on the media, what your candidate said.
That's what you've got to deal with this point.
When you have quotes of your candidate, blame it on the media. That's
nobody can understand what you're saying when you talk on top of each other. Have a great day, you guys. Thank you.